In case you were absent or need more help, this video will be a guide for how to use World History in Context and Biography in Context, both of which are databases available through the library. So the starting point is to go to the library website, to go to Online Materials, and to click Databases. The first database we're going to look at is World History in Context. To find World History in Context, once you're at the database page, you scroll down to General Reference, and you click on InfoTrack. Once you've clicked InfoTrack, there are many options. You want to scroll down until you see the yellow pyramid symbol and World History in Context. You want to click on World History in Context. Once you do that, it'll take you to the World History in Context database, which looks like this. Here's the search bar where you can search for your emperor's name or other specific actions that you know your emperor did that might give you more details. Using Augustus as an example search, you can see that many Roman emperors will give you a page that looks something like this. Some of them have featured content, and if it looks like this page, this article up here is their featured article for that emperor. Not all emperors will have featured content. Some may just have reference sources and other types of sources. This page tells you all the different kinds of sources you can find. You have featured content, reference, primary sources, news, magazines, and so on. You are really focused on featured content and reference sources. If you're feeling brave, you can absolutely try a primary source, but it's not required. When you're going to cite this in Noodle Tools, think about where you're choosing the article from. If you're choosing one that's under the reference heading, it is automatically telling you that that source is a reference source. I'm going to use this first article right here for you as a sample to teach you how to cite sources that you find from World History in Context. If we were to choose a source from World History in Context and go to cite it in Noodle Tools, the first thing that you have to do is select a citation type. When you hit this drop-down menu, it then looks like this. World History in Context is a database, so you would choose Database and then click Create Citation. Once you click Create Citation, it brings you to a screen that looks like this. Now you remember that ABC Clio is a publisher of original content. So when you're using ABC Clio, you always choose this option. But World History in Context, we saw, mostly has a collection of reference sources, and the article we chose was from under that heading, so you would choose reference source. So I have superimposed two images to help you see this more clearly. This image up here is the citation from the article that we've chosen, and this is a screen grab of what Noodle Tools would look like once you've chosen reference source. Now, remember that there is this MLA guide button that will always be there that you can pop out to help you match up what information goes in which box. Now, this section right here is very important, and this is something new. It asks you whether you will provide original print information or whether this was an e-publication. E-publication means that this article was only ever online. An original print means that the article you're looking at was once published in a book. Now, the way that you figure that out is by looking at the citation. If something was ever published in a book, it must have a place. all books have a place of publication. So you would check the citation for a city. Now this article has Detroit in the citation, and so that means it was once in a book, and we would keep this original print information clicked. If there was no city, we would change it to ePublication. Then you have name of database. The name of the database is what you clicked on from the library to get there. So in this case, it is World History in Context. Further down, it would ask you the name of the encyclopedia, and if you use the MLA guide, you would see the encyclopedia is what comes in italics after the author. And so this article came from World Eras. Now, there will sometimes be things in the citation that won't appear when you put it in Noodle Tools. Like here, we have an editor, John T. Kirby. You could add that as a contributor, but at this level you do not need to include editors in your citations. The second option of new databases to use is called Biography in Context. If you go back to the library database page and you scroll down, you will see Biography in Context. If you click and open that, you'll find that it looks very similar to World History in Context. This database is good for this project because you are all researching specific people. You do not have to use both. Feel free to use one or the other. It's organized in a very similar way, separating sources by type, so it'll say reference source. So most of what you would be citing from this database, you would also choose database and then reference source. Hopefully this helped make it a little clearer for you in case you were absent or if you were confused the first time that we did this in class. If you still have questions, please make sure that you come and see me so that we can go over this one-on-one.